and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of agenda as presented. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor? Council has a copy of the minutes from last month's meeting. Motion to approve July 13 meeting minutes.
Second.
All those in favor? All right. Council met prior to this borough meeting on an executive session on personnel matters and consultation with solicitor regarding litigation. At this time, we are going to open the floor for any citizens' remarks. Citizens' remarks? No? Please provide your name and address, please.
Yep, my name is Tina McDade. I'm up at Shelley's River, 453 Shelley's Lane. I know people are having problems with their electric bills and the payment date and stuff. That's not me. My problem is, over the last year, I have gone from 3 people in my household down to 2 people, unfortunately down to just me. And I would like to know why my bill keeps going up. You would think that it would go less. I know that there's a new meter reader. Is there something that can be done about double checking my meter to be checked? But my bill has gone up in the last 4 months, and it has only been me.
Do you run air conditioning?
Huh?
Do you run air conditioning?
Yeah,
Okay.
my AC.
It's been very hot.
I understand that. My
Okay.
AC is set at 74 because I'm not a freezing cold person.
Right.
And it's on a control, it doesn't run all day
Okay.
long.
Thank you.
I only plug in my toaster when I use it, I have no phone chargers plugged in until I need to use it. I only plug my coffee pot in when I use it, so I'm not understanding why my bill keeps going up and up and up.
Tina, what's the rate on the dollar amount that it approximately has gone up every month? And is that consecutive months that it has shown that it has gone up?
That I didn't check, I'll be honest with you, but I did just check this one, me and Mark figured it out, it's at, what, 14.5,
14.5?
0.145.
Okay.
I can check the other ones, but it didn't go up to 16 yet. But I'm just not understanding when I went from 3 to 2 down to just me, that my bill keeps going up. And I'm not there half the time because I'm in Delaware.
Did you match those numbers up to the actual, like, meter numbers outside on your actual meter?
I have not, that's what I'm saying, I don't know if the meter needs to be checked to see if it's working properly or whatever, I wouldn't know how to do that. But that's my concern with the electric, it's not the UV.
Is yours still an analog one or is yours digital? Is yours an analog one that spins or is it a digital one?
Analog, I believe, yes.
Meter?
Mm-hmm.
Doug's out there to take a look at it.
What we're gonna say, but
Yeah.
down the way to test it, or if we just replace it, every one and see if it changes.
All right. We'll have the borough's electrician come out, take a look at the meter, and make his recommendations to the borough manager the way forward. One of 2 options: either replace the meter and see what that billing cycle is after that meter's been replaced, and in the meantime, or we can take the meter, replace it, send that meter out in question for testing, and have it brought back. If it meets the testing, meets those factors, then we can see what, that'll also provide the groundwork for, okay, this is what this meter's reading, the one replaced, and this is the one that has been tested. So, I mean, we can see what it says out of the 2 and the difference, maybe.
So with that meter being 35 years old and February, March,
Well, my recommendation would probably-
in 7 months,
look at,
who pays for the new meter?
Well, see, that's what I was gonna suggest, to have Joyce go up there and look at the numbers first before we spend the money on replacing the meter or getting it tested.
well, do we have meters in hand or on stock?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying, I mean,
First page.
Just switch it out.
it could be a bad meter.
The way that we tested in the past is to hook up a 60-watt light bulb to it, and that's it. And a 60-watt light bulb shouldn't use 60 watts over an hour or whatever the calculation would be. And that's how you.
The Doug could do that, but he wouldn't stand there, and he would pull it and bring it back. I'm good with that.
All right, we'll have him pull it, test it, and we'll go from there.
Okay,
Without replacing and no incurring of any charges to yourself,
okay.
okay?
Yeah, like I say, the meter is my original meter from when the house was built, so,
Understood.
thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Any other citizens' comments?
Hi, I'm Amber Abramatis, and I live on Hill Point Drive in Edders. I've lived here since 2001, back when the bills were still handwritten, when you got them in the mail. I've always paid on the last day of the month. Like, it's just how, I mean, I've never had an issue until last month. I got my bill and I had an extra charge on it. So I sent a letter in with and I paid my electric, my sewer, and my water on the last day of the month. I sent a letter in and said, I'm not sure why this is here, you know, my husband, we're on a fixed income, it's his pension, it comes last day of the month, I always come down and drop it off in the box. So I said, call me if there's an issue, and I did not pay the fee. So I get this month's bill, and now I'm up to like $52 in fees. And I paid again, I brought it down with all three of the bills, like, I've paid like this for 20 years or more. And, I didn't see anything out, you know, I'm paying on the last day, so I'm not understanding it.
What's the account number?
463.
Okay, we're gonna address this in, the LHPs and.
I think it was discussed last meeting.
Yeah, we
2 meetings
discussed
ago, wasn't it?
about
2 meetings ago.
2 meetings ago, that
Yeah.
was gonna be moved to the 28th.
But we shot that down.
No, we shot that down.
I was gonna say, my understanding was that wasn't passed.
No, we shot it down. If you have your bill in that box, say, the night of the 30th, before midnight,
Which
yeah, you shouldn't get charged. Am I correct in saying that?
If it's put in the box after 7 AM on the first, it's not.
Oh, yeah, no.
If it's before that, it's not.
No, it's always,
Right.
I'm always down. It's usually during the day, you know, it could be summertime, you know, but it's
Yeah.
dropped in the box on the side.
But you have the checks with the dates on. You'll have checks with the dates on when you.
Right,
Yeah.
the checks are in the box, and they're dated right now, and I
Right.
put it in, because that's when the
Right.
pension goes in, it's the last day of the month. So, I shouldn't have any other.
We'll address that when we get to that part of the,
Yeah, we'll really look into.
And your bill doesn't specify other than just additional charges?
It says outstanding, and when I look, it's 10%. So I'm assuming the late fee is 10% of the bill,
That sounds about right.
and that's what I'm getting. So,
That'll be addressed both here and as well with, borough manager.
okay, so when I pay this month's bill, I was not gonna include that $52 on here.
Go ahead and leave it off.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Dan Hopeful for Rickport Road. If you guys look at the most recent electric ordinance, which is 2017, it does specify bills are due the last day of the month. So that's actually cutoff date. Also in there, I could find no provision for a penalty of any sort, although council can make rules and regulations. I did not find any rules and regulations that pertain to any penalty. If you guys might know wherever the ad, I can't find it on the website, which may help you guys clear up some of the issues that are going on, seeing out on the internet, complaining about late fees. All right.
Any other citizens' remarks? Hearing none. We're gonna move forward with the police report.
Evening, everyone.
Hello.
I apologize, I have my back to you, but I guess it's one or the other here. So, good evening, council. Braxton Diddy from the police department. On behalf of our new police chief, Chief Farzad Sharif, he would have liked to be here tonight. He had another obligation, so I'm covering for him. But in speaking to him today, I believe that you will see him more and more often at these meetings, as that's his preference to come to the borough meetings. I know in the last few months, we've been sending a sergeant down. I think that will become the exception, probably. So, but on behalf of the chief, he looks forward next month to coming and meeting all of you, as well as the residents. Again, sorry, my back's turned. I believe council has the report for the month of July. Nothing really notable on there. A total of 51 police incidents in the borough. Traffic enforcement, it looks like there were 5 traffic warnings, 1 traffic citation during the month. Any questions?
It's typed up, it's not.
I don't have that report.
It was.
When they sent it.
They sent it today.
Oh, there was?
Yeah, it didn't display correctly, it's on the.
Oh, my apologies, we'll have that fixed and sent. You're welcome to have my copy if you'd like. Okay, we'll get a new one sent. I'm sorry it didn't come through sufficiently. Any concerns from the council, from the mayor, the residents?
Y'all been doing a good job.
Thank you, appreciate that. Anything to address?
No, we're gonna address something later at the end of the meeting, probably, with these kids with the e-bikes and the scooters. We've been bringing that up, and we had another one ran over today up in Manchester, 12-year-old that died. I mean, these kids run
Today?
around on these things, yeah. And, George Street and Henry Road
Wow.
was dead,
They're riding it down to North York Street, South York Street,
middle of the road.
right in the middle of the road.
Okay.
And, it's just a concern.
Yeah, okay, so we can do some, focused enforcement on that. Is there any question about the legality of this? We put some information out. I think we did that in the township, so we can, if the borough has any appetite for that, let me know, to, you know, kind of break down these e-bikes and scooters but if it's simply kids riding them down the middle of the road, that's
Well, I will address it later to get it out there to the parents.
Okay.
The parents that watch the video and stuff, and they, you know, their kids
Sure.
a bit about it before something does happen.
yeah.
What I've been trying to promote is just wearing a helmet and abiding by, you know, signs, lights, things like that. And,
These kids are 9, 8, 9, 10 years old. They don't know.
Do you have to be a certain age to legally operate?
It depends on what the device is, right? So there's, of course, with technology, we're seeing scooters and bicycles and some under a certain power limit and some over, and, you know, so the conversation becomes, A, is it a bicycle? B, you need a driver's license to operate it if it's motor power. So it gets very, I can't answer that very easily.
There's a lot of gray areas.
Well, it's a lot of specificity
Yeah.
to what device it is, you know? Back in the day, if you will, you know, there was a bicycle, there was a scooter, and there was a skateboard, none of which had a motor on it. Well, that's not today. There's motors, and there's fast motors, and there's gas motors, and there's electric motors, there'll be solar motors soon. So, you know, I don't mean to make light of your question, but
Oh, no,
yeah, it's tough, because
It's the truth.
it comes down to a certain CC, and, yeah, I mean, there's even bicycles that have motors on them that you need a driver's license.
Yeah.
Anything over
Little gas motors.
So, But we do have some reference materials when it comes down to the legality of those different devices or vehicles or lack thereof vehicles. But we're happy to give it out. All right? All good? All right. Mr. President, if I can be excused?
Absolutely.
Very good. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. See ya. Have a good night, everyone.
Do stop.
All right, moving on to the fire department report. We had 25 calls for the month. Majority of them are in Newberry Township. The Goldsboro Fire Company just made a purchase of the utility truck to assist us in picking up tools, transporting personnel, and that kind of stuff. That's going to be put in service here probably in a month. We submitted for 5 grants. We've gotten 2 thus far. One of them, we're looking at $800,000 for a new fire truck. Replace one of the older trucks. It's 2002. So, outside of that, we're doing a lot of work with the neighboring fire departments and working together with them and training. We have some training coming up here down at Fairview and training on the 20th. Any residents that are coming into the borough on the 20th, we have training. We're going to be flushing the pipe out here at the creek. Just back flushing that, just to clear that out in case we need water. Outside of that, that's all I have as far as fire report. Motion to accept both police and fire report.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Mayor's report.
This one seems a little bit out of date. I think there might have been a mistake, but update on the Water Street Willie's paving possible speed hump. I think that was shut down quite a while ago.
Did you talk to them down there
No,
at the campground?
no.
What was shut down?
We're putting the speed bumps out on actual Water Street, not in the campground. And the issue was the snow plows.
Oh, right, okay.
If I remember right.
Yeah.
I'll get on top of it. This past month has been crazy for me. Which actually leads me into National Night Out. Pretty good turnout. I think everybody had fun. No casualties. It was nice. It was nice to see everybody around. And then these two, 32 North York, I believe we got the big complaint done with everything that was gross there. Nope. Oh. Gotta get more on it.
Clarity is the current owners right now, they're doing major remodeling in the interior of the house, which also brings up to a couple other things. And I can get under this, under new business, the corner property down here, do they have a permit?
The corner property.
Yeah, down here in the square, next to the Victorians.
That I'm not quite sure of. I know you don't need a permit if you're redoing the roof or anything, so I mean, it's, as long as he's not, if he's, how would they put it? If, as long as he's not building onto the existing
Addition.
structure,
Alright.
we should not need a permit, but if he's just redoing siding or redoing the roof and all, like
Alright.
windows, no permit.
32 up here is your creek. That is
Okay.
atrocious.
The one that I stopped at before,
No,
the new one.
yeah, it's on the other side of Pennsylvania Avenue.
Okay.
It's 32 North York Street, and it's the area that's been fenced in. There's debris everywhere. Bill, you've seen it.
Yes.
I'll talk to them.
You don't have.
It's not acceptable.
And 494,
Yeah, speaking of not acceptable, I actually have to get that with Ivan with this one. Send him letters, he cleaned up, but then didn't, and then cleaned up again, and then he got back again. So I think it's about time we move forward.
Start issuing fines.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Ivan, you could write something like that up for me.
Just shoot me the history with the compliance and then lack of compliance, and then I'll look to see if we're still in the enforcement path, or if we need any kind of communication prior to that, then we can move forward with filing something with that.
Sure. Yep.
Is this the house with all the trucks and windows and everything?
Yeah,
Yeah, there's just windows everywhere.
And that's the other thing, if we can try to get something out prior to next month's meeting, at which point we can get on the agenda, if it's not cleaned up prior to that, which I think is an ample amount of time, or even a 2-week period, an ample amount of time to clean it up, we can, put it out, for a motion on the dollar amount for the fine. Because I don't think that's spelled out in the ordinances.
I think it's
It might-
$1,000.
It's up to 1,000, but it doesn't give it as increment.
Yeah.
I would just recommend the maximum amount, and then the MBJ usually
Yeah.
brings that down.
Cause like I looked at prior fines, kind of like this, it was $1,000, and then they have 10 additional days to clean it up, and then after that, the borough, I believe, hires somebody to clean it up for them, and then they charge them that
That
fee.
goes to the JP, I would think.
Oh.
Yeah, that has to go to the JP.
Okay.
The problem with 494 is that he's running a business out of that.
Yeah, that's not.
And that, what he's doing is not kosher. It's not like he's working on his own, like he's trying to get his property done, because there's several places. I am sympathetic to people working to get their property done. I'm in the same spot.
Same with the guy on this today.
Well, he's running a business out of there.
Yeah, but-
It's not a commercial property.
It's not
494
That's a
is
zoning violation.
That is a zoning violation.
So that'd be double the whammy then.
Yeah,
Well,
and
it's important too, because it also defines what kind of notice you need to give the property owner, and then it also defines what his appeal rights are, because that will go to the ZHB rather than.
Well, so this was months ago that I had to talk with him, and, you know, right after that, a letter ended up going to his house, giving him, 20 days, and been lenient with him, and it just nothing's really getting done.
I think at this point in time, it would behoove us to just do the letter with the, fine. What are your thoughts?
Thank you. Yeah.
It depends on the relief that we want, so like, that's why I want to know the background fully, because
I mean,
perhaps a zoning violation would be more, serving the growth interest than.
It's one of those
just a
things.
violation.
I'm not the first mayor that has dealt with him, and, it's just, it's
Okay,
bad.
we could take it a step further. We can look into, business taxes. If you're running a business out of your home, and are you claiming that business and the taxes under that home, are they being claimed for the borough? Because I think there's a ordinance for business taxes. Isn't that on the, audit? For business taxes?
There may be a line item. I am not aware if the borough has a specific business tax rate or not.
That would be in the big binder if I'm correct. Yeah, no, there is. Because that falls under parlors, gambling, restaurants, all that kind of stuff. As far as a business, and I only named 3, but in the blue big binder, there are a list of businesses that are supposed to have, that fall under that realm of business taxes. And if they're claimed in the borough, then the borough can open that, like, for example, the treasure trove. That's a business. Are we collecting any taxes based off of those businesses? Or what are, I'm not saying that, it's gonna be an exuberant amount. What is the amount? What's the percentage? All that kind of stuff.
Well, if they're not zoned for a business, they don't pay business tax, they just
Yeah.
can't have a business.
Right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's either this or this.
I'm pretty sure they can't have a business,
I know.
Well, Shelley's is not,
It's
Shelley's
not zoned.
is specifically residential.
Sole proprietorships, just because it doesn't, like, whoever's, if you're running a business out of if you're running a construction company out of your home, and if you're storing materials there, I think it changes. But if you're just going in and doing your books, you don't have customers coming in here.
Well, they're contact. I'm
So
sure they're
yeah,
contact.
so what you're highlighting is in the MPC, you're allowed to have no impact home business
Right.
in any district, but if you have one to show outward sign of commercial use on your property.
Right,
and
there's
it's
some materials that does that, but if he's just doing,
Oh, yeah.
paperwork.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure any resident would say, well, I don't care if there's no material there, and I don't care if he's running a business, but as long as the material is there and it's an eyesore, it's
Technically, I guess if you work from home, it also would be in that category as running a business.
Well, that's why I would recommend starting with the zoning ordinance, notice of violation, because you can give them a period to correct to make sure that it's no impact, if that's the intention.
Right. I'll get with you. them about that.
The other thing is you can also threaten jail time, 30 days in county jail for non-compliance.
Right. I mean, I don't think we're close enough to jail time, but, you know, I think a fine on it.
Yeah, well, threatening jail time can get some action out of it.
Right. I think a fine would do it, you know.
You would think.
You'd think. Moving on, just a couple more things, you brought it up. Treasure Trove, toy.
They're awesome.
They are, I told you.
They're great.
But yeah, so really excited. They opened on the 1st, so if nobody's been out there yet, check them out. I mean, the first retail business to be in Goldsboro
A lot of vintage.
since I've been around, and I'm sure it's been a lot longer than that. So I'm really excited about that. And then one last thing, we've been having a lot of like dog complaints or dog related ones, whether it be off a leash or just them barking. You know, I looked into it. There's like a 10-minute barking leniency, I guess. So if you're gonna call me about a bark complaint, please give them 10 minutes to bark at something and then call. Right, thank you. That wasn't 10 minutes, so you're good. Yeah, and that'll do it for me. Thank you.
Question before we move on. I got a complaint about animal control problem on First Avenue. Can we amend the agenda then under new business to discuss that?
No, why don't we just talk about it now?
We can do that now under the mayor's report. Does that require an amendment?
Are you looking for official action?
No, because I think we already have official action. There's been skunks.
necessarily be official action, I don't think.
Yeah, there's been skunks. We brought it up last month and it's not getting much better. I believe we did hire Ellis. It's Ellis Pest Control, but it's his dad. He does animal control. Good guy. I mean,
Okay, well, part of the complaint was against the Geis household because they put cat food out for their outdoor cats on the front porch. But they leave the cat food out overnight and then the skunks come around the front of the house and raid the cat food, and then the skunks and the cats get into fights then back in the alley, and they spray the houses in there.
imagine the smell.
Yes, yeah, and I am witness to that because from National Night Out, I walked the alley and I counted 4 skunks back there. And then that's when the gentleman from the train station came out and raised hell with me and asked me if I would bring it up at the next council meeting to tell the Geises to take the cat food in at night.
Sure. I can talk to the Geises, but as far as the skunks,
The
we can.
solution to that is, he is correct with that. They should put the food up at a certain time, like 6 o'clock. Even if they put it up on a shelf, if a cat's gonna eat, a cat can jump up on the shelf and eat something.
Sure.
Skunk's not gonna jump up on the
Yes.
shelf.
Oh, yeah, they will.
Oh, okay, hold on a second. So skunks can jump?
I do a lot of animal rescue and trapping. I worked for a family last week in Ridgeview, and there were 7 feral cats. I trapped 6 of the 7, and we had traps up on top of like the banisters and stuff, and I actually got a raccoon in the skunk, or in the trap. So wildlife will jump up and get in. If there's wet food there, all wildlife will jump up to they'll smell that wet food and they will get to it. So the best thing is just to pull the wet food up at night and then you're not gonna get the food.
So it's dry food.
And here's the other thing too, a lot of people need to understand that the food's being put out for the cats, which keep the mice at bay, but the cats have been fixed. A lot of the cats have been fixed. She does, Jeannie, what's that called again?
TMR.
Yeah.
And legally, you have to release the animal where you trapped it.
Correct.
You can't take
So, I mean,
it somewhere else.
It's kind of twofold, you know, I can understand that, but I agree, pull the food by 6 maybe. I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
It's so,
Because
they help you, yeah.
If they're not there at that time, they're not gonna come.
Is that for any animal?
Any animal, what do you mean?
No, sure. Skunks could.
If it's
skunks
trapped,
could
it
eat
has to be released wherever it was caught.
Some of the
gets
cats,
fixed.
even wildlife and stuff, you can't relocate wildlife unless you have a permit to transport wildlife.
Yeah.
Like if
I'm
you
being
catch
honest, my daughter was
if you
seeing
sketch a
stories
skull,
where
technically
she
you gotta
lives,
let it out unless
and
you
the
have a
neighbor
driver's
trapped them
license.
and been bringing them down to the river and releasing them.
Yeah, no, you can't do that unless you have a license to do that. You can't transport them unless you have.
That's like groundhogs.
Yep,
Groundhogs, how far?
20 miles.
2 miles.
One.
Well, no matter where you take a cat, it will find its way home.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
If you're a.
We had a cat 30 years ago, and then a friend took it
If you have a
that lived in
license.
Goldsboro for a barn cat.
Oh.
And 2 months later, that damn cat was in my backyard.
Is that homeward bound?
All right.
I'm being serious.
Mr. Mayor, if you could at least go to the residents and at least advise to have the food by 6.
Yeah, I think that's huge, and then just kind of, I'm gonna circle back with Joyce. Just maybe we can double the traps or something, but before this gets, way out of control, because I don't know if skunks reproduce as fast as rabbits, so I don't
The
know.
question I have is, we have skunks too, they luckily don't do anything, but how do I request to get trapped?
I would contact Joyce and,
Okay.
yeah, I think the guy has his own traps, he doesn't want people like just taking them, but
Yeah.
you know what, if you see one, obviously just pinpoint it and we'll, I believe that's how traffic works, so. Okay, but yeah, that's all, sorry.
Motion to accept the mayor's report. All those in favor? All right, moving on to the manager's report. It shows, boot mowing has been completed. That was done within the borough. I believe part of the fishing game, or boat and fish, and other parts throughout the borough. HVAC, that was done. They had Dolan in, did the work for that. That job should be 100% complete. They also had a minor leak too, I think, or condensation at one point, I was told. The storm drains and sinkhole at Ziegler, that's been addressed. However, we have tasked the engineer's office to go and take a further look at the proper runoff and proper placement of the stormwater box. Because at this point in time, it kind of makes, we actually went out and looked at it. And you have 2 stormwater boxes on either side of First Avenue, but yet water continues to puddle and pool right where they repaired the road. Byron, the engineer's going to take a look and see, bring a survey team out, and based off of the runoff from the state road, which by the way is being turned over to the borough, the best feasible spot for the stormwater for proper drainage. Because what's happening is it'll rain or snow, melt, then freeze, and it's getting the asphalt to burst or heave, as they call it. So, park has been mulched. That was done this week around the playground equipment and all. And UPMC, Barry Albertson Ambulance Services, who contracts and works with UPMC, they were contacted. We're waiting on details on looking at EMS service. There's other things to come specific with EMS right now. We had a call, just full transparency here, we had a call Midway. All the EMS units were unavailable. Fairview was unavailable, 69, the depot was unavailable, UPMC up here was unavailable. The next EMS unit that came in was a 15-minute wait, and that was for a sick person. So there's not much we can do. I'm going to look at twofold UPMC, and I'm going to engage with Wellspan out of the Median Coroner and use them as a secondary unit if I have to. But I am not comfortable with 15-minute wait time. Nobody else should.
Chief, a question I have, I just thought of this, and I mean, I'm out of order, I realize that there is the rescue that you have on the Hill Island. Why was your county called to go to Dauphin County?
Long story short, and I saw you walking.
Yeah.
Long story short, The call originated from Hill Island. The caller himself stated that his mother was suffering a stroke. Full transparency, and it is public knowledge. But he called and gave his home address. So the call came to York County 911.
I saw Rebecca came up and then they made sense, I got it.
And then they narrowed it down to Hill Island. York County notified Dauphin County. Dauphin notified the units over there. And they said, well, York County can handle it. Well, thankfully, one of the boaters that was gracious enough to let them use their boat, we took one out, and then I flagged the second one down with John boat, and he took another crew out. So, they're getting quick response.
That answers the,
Yeah.
okay.
And down there, I don't want to delay too long on this, but we got rid of the boat from the fire department because we weren't being requested by Dauphin County. So to maintain the boat, maintain the services and the fees and all that kind of stuff, it just wasn't doable. That, I mean, if that had gone to Dauphin County from the get-go, we weren't even been involved. All right, moving on. Motion to accept the manager's report.
Working on scope of
We're
work.
working on scope.
Oh, I'm sorry. Working on scope of work and material list for upstairs bathroom and park facilities. List for the upstairs bathrooms, that's going to be brought up at a later in the agenda. We won't go on that a whole lot, along with the park. Motion to accept the manager's report.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. All right, ELH&P report. Council has a copy of both reports, ELH&P and the water company report. Do I have a motion to accept both?
This is the part we want to get to, we want to strike account 202 and account 463.
Yes. With that being said, make a motion to strike 463 and 202 from the ELH&P report at this time. Motion on the floor.
Is that specifically late fees?
Yes.
I would just add that to the motion.
I was gonna say.
Make a motion on the floor is to strike 463, 202, and the late fees associated with those bills from the ELH&P report. Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Carried. All right, now in doing so, motion to accept the ELH&P and water company report.
Second.
All those in favor? Engineers report, other than what I had mentioned before, the survey team coming down and taking a look at First Avenue. There's other work. He is going to be head first into grants. He is looking at grants for up at Shelley's. He's looking at grants for stormwater improvement. And he is going to be in the future here, and to give you transparency on this, the borough engineer has worked for the borough for the last 37 years. And I'm willing to go and ask any one of the residents or anybody in this room, minus the other individual that was present at the meeting, how many grants do you think that borough engineers submitted for? In 37 years. 3. In 37 years, there were ever only 3 grants that were submitted. That is changing. Now, granted, it does cost some money for us to go and have those grants written. I can do it up to a certain point, but it's a lot of work, and I got enough on my plate as it is. But he's going to be pursuing some grants to help improve the infrastructure within this borough. One of them being the stormwater and wastewater. And then here in the near future, the possibility of looking at replacing the water tower up in Shelley's to improve water pressure.
Yeah. Oh, my.
There's been some heavy discussion. The water obviously is an issue, and with the current situation, I think we need to do whatever we can to go and try to improve the service to the residents up there. And if that being DCED, and I just was on their website today, has several grants available for the borough to pursue to see improving the water system. But that's down the road. You know, he'll probably be looking at that before the end of the year. Now, granted, it will take time and patience, but
I've already been waiting.
I know. So,
Since it will be an expenditure fund, are you looking to amend the agenda to
no, not at this point in time. Not until I get back. And then
he's giving you a quote? and then-
he's going to give us the quote and then go from there. The way things sit right now, and this is public knowledge too. There was a promissory note that was written from Goldsboro ELH&P to ELH&P from the water company. Promissory note set certain periods of payments that were supposed to be made back by the water company. That stopped back in 2017. What is currently owed to the Goldsboro ELH&P is $329,000. This is the transparency I promised you all. So, with us trying to improve the water system, to maintain that water system, without any residents having, we may have to increase slightly. I'm not saying that's being done, and I'm not putting that to any kind of discussion further. There may be a slight increase up there to go and assist. I'm not saying that's being done again. But we need to look at improving the service for the residents that we are providing. Currently, right now, transparency with the audit, and we sat through the audit, currently right now left in the water budget, $62,000. So they can make payments, but there would be, if there was an emergency that came up, we'd be in trouble. So we have to find new ways to be ingenious and inventive, and if that means going through a grant process, then so be it. So,
Again, with the finance committee, we're also looking into it to see how we can work on starting to pay that back.
yes, whether it be like, you know, on a period of time, over a period of time, to try to pay that back.
So can I ask a question on that? Did the borough ever place an ad or kind of look into seeing if a company would come in and tear that down and use the money for scrap or whatever they say, where they keep what they get and the borough just don't get nothing, but we get it taken away?
And I'll share with you, and I'm laughing because that has been discussed with myself and the vice president and transparent to the council members. We would look at removing the old tower. What I'd like to see is a bigger tower.
Like to see what?
A bigger tower, something that's going to accommodate gallons per minute per each house, based on household.
If we need a water tower.
If we need it, which I think we would need one, because nobody's gonna wanna buy the current water program. Let's be real. So, I mean, you know, and they can't pull from the Susquehanna unless they have a huge treatment facility. So, the only other option is transparency again. And this is not even on the table, but transparency. The other option is, we look at residents that are selling their homes to write in, pending any approval, any inspection, any requirement by DEP that they would be authorized to drill.
Dig a well.
Dig their own well.
So everything that's wrong up in Shelley's Riverview, isn't there a way that we can go back and, I don't even know if he's still living, go back and sue Jack Short?
No, unfortunately.
It costs money to sue people.
Huh?
Yeah.
It costs money to sue people.
No shit.
Honestly,
Did we find that out?
Okay?
honestly, that was what I'm pulling up right now, and I had a very good conversation with somebody's neighbor. Won't name names.
No, to be honest with you, ever since I found out about the fire hydrants up there, every time I think about that and I pass that damn thing on my road, it pisses me off. What
But see, that's where that would help too, if we would look at putting a water tower in.
That would
Then
suffice
that would
for,
help resolve that problem.
it wouldn't be solely just for residential use. We would, if I'm correct, there's only 2 hydrants up there.
I thought the pipe diameter was too small for fire hydrants.
Well, one line could feed that, another line, I mean, if we were to do that, it would be a 5 to 6 inch main from the tower. And then they can branch off from there. Because currently, right now, I think in something like the woods, it's 6 inch that they feed that. And that 6 inch line also feeds their drinking water too. So, but, I mean, down the road, again, we got off topic a little bit, I just wanted to give you all a heads up. It's something I would like to see moving forward. Ways that we can improve the water pressure, water source for all the residents up in Shelley's.
If it's needed, it's needed. I mean, there's nothing I can say or do about it or whatever, but maybe at least maintain it so that it looks a little bit better than a half rusted
Yeah. But
big ball of green crap there.
We're gonna do what we can.
we'll do everything we can do in our power. Motion to accept the engineer's report. All those in favor? Aye. Solicitor's report.
Okay, single item for me, I can be brief. If you all recall from last meeting, this was listed on the agenda as well. Where we left things off, I believe, was providing an update that we've reached, the office staff had reached out to the Treasury to open up a line of dialogue as to how best correct previous reporting issues that we noted in review of the SLFRF documentation to date. We did receive a response back from the Treasury in addition to the original automated response that warned of delays. And unfortunately, their response seemed to be more on providing guidance as to how we could solicit another contractor to do the work. I think there was a misunderstanding in the initial question. So I drafted up a response email to more targetedly address the compliance issues that we're looking to clarify with the Treasury on how best to submit our documentation to correct our previous reporting, to select the revenue loss option and apply it to already incurred payroll items. So that still needs to be sent to the Treasury, but then we will be back with an update on what documentation or procedures they looked to recommend on how we can best correct those issues.
I did have a question on another topic. I believe it was brought up about Luke Grossmeyer, or Grossmeyer. I apologize for the pronunciation. There was a waiver releasing the borough from liability for any injury. Do you have any direction or any guidance on that?
You should have a copy of those upstairs.
Okay.
All you need to do is come down and sign it.
Okay, all right. We'll see if we can get the borough office to reach out to him and let him know that it's available. I don't know if it has been or not.
Yeah, I haven't followed it since you wouldn't do it last time. but-
Okay, all right. My apologies, sir. You good? Good. Motion to accept.
There was one thing I wanted to add.
Go ahead.
You might have gotten in your packet, the answers that I got from your last questions I asked.
Yes, it looks like-
Clarification.
It looks like there was a document submitted with my packet on seeking additional follow-up from the legal memorandum that I prepared. If that's something that Borough Council wants me to spend additional time and resources for,
Yes, please.
do you want to make a vote on that?
Yeah, motion on the floor for the solicitor review, said document and make changes or adjustments as needed.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Okay, to be clear, this will be gathering factual background information, which will take some time in coordination with office staff, so I can completely opine on issues. The reason why caveats were presented previously was because I was missing factual information.
Good. Anything else?
The ordinance thing, are we doing that now, or is that somewhere else? This is for the, budget.
Yeah.
Do we wanna bring it up on the phone
No, we can do that or we can do it here.
yet? He said he has to look into it a little more and.
I say we table it now. If he's gotta look into it.
I think that there are significant issues with the draft that was presented a couple hours ago.
Yeah. What do you want to do?
We'll table it to the next meeting then.
Yeah. Okay, if you could, review, certainly advise, council. All right, with that, Motion to accept the solicitor's report. Anything else prior to me asking that? Ron?
No.
Motion to,
Another one that comes up under unfinished business.
yeah. Motion to accept solicitor's report.
Second.
All those in favor?
All right.
All right. Committee reports, building and grounds. Dave? Anything from buildings and grounds?
No, nothing for building and grounds.
All right. EMA.
The only thing I had to bring up is everybody's seen the post on Facebook today about the crossings being closed for the next 2 days, I believe it is, Doug. My understanding, anybody on Water Street needs to park the other side of the tracks. Foot traffic will be accessible, vehicle traffic will not be accessible.
They're putting a second line in, obviously, you've seen them down there working. Evenings after, I think, 5 or 6 o'clock, they're gonna have cold patch dropped on Fraser. That is only to be used for emergency vehicles, only for crossing, for just that purpose. Outside of that, all residents are still required to park on East Broadway and on Fraser with no vehicle traffic until they're completed. That starts tomorrow and ends Wednesday evening. So, all right, EMA. Finance.
All right, I understand that the council had asked for a complete total for COVID spending, 23 through now. Borough manager presented us with $52,916.59 in COVID spending covering that period.
Do we have a breakdown of what that was spent on?
There was a sheet of paper that had items listed by year and
I think we have the same paper again. It's in our packet.
yeah, that's what we were presenting.
There's no description or breakdown like we've been asking for, we just keep getting the same paper. Versus the question and answer paper.
Yeah, beyond that, there was no other documentation brought to the committee.
Yeah, you can just let them know. Keep getting.
Okay.
All right, also state road fund snowplow expenditures were showing as $9,851.57 over the budgeted amount. The borough manager is going to go back, verify that was not a clerical error and should have been out of general fund instead. Okay, so dates then, just the next item, unless you have a question on that. For the budget workshops, we are proposing September 30th during the finance committee. And then a follow-up second round October 7th, which may have to be advertised. But there's normally a scheduled workshop on that. Unless you guys, that doesn't fit council's schedule, or you guys rather have different dates. But we still have time to think about that.
I got a real quick question, sorry about that. Looking at the COVID spending for 2023, so what this tells me is there's a 3-year gap where no money was spent.
Cannot confirm or deny, I just don't have enough information this year, I've not seen the Swift documentation on those numbers.
What was the date or the deadline for the expenditure of COVID money?
Contracts have been signed by the end of 2024.
When did they have to be spent?
Money has to be spent under those contracts by the end of this year.
beyond the obligation deadline, I think is the point. Yeah.
From the previous conversation, on those things, previous contracts.
Okay.
Okay, so, last item on the official report here, the committee is extending an offer to the staff to assist in any way if they need in financial report preparations. This stems from, I guess, the conversation last month. Now, you guys had the treasury reports ahead of time for the meeting or something?
Yes.
Okay. We had kind of later that, is there anything work done, or is anything you think that they need to get help with? When you go off our official stuff here, just as a note to council, there are only several line items that are over budget. And one of those, was about the audit, review, Parks and Rec. And I did take a quick look at the treasurer report, and it looks like we said 73 we can spend on Parks and Rec. Sorry, that was a separate issue. Yeah, there's no budget, that was the thing. There's no Parks and Rec budget. Also, PRGIP investment funds, there's a 5,300 and something fall, there's no budget for that. So, I don't know if we can spend money with the budget for a fund. Just a heads up.
Like it. Plus, we didn't have a contract with the pool fund.
That's all we're. That's all. Yes. All right, any questions?
All right. Thank you, sir. Moving on to the planning committee. Braxton Parks, Stacy's out, anybody want to chime in?
Could I just chime in there? Parks and Rec, they were a huge help with National Night Out. I just wanted to give Stacy a shout out. I know she's not here, but she might watch that, so thank you.
Yeah, and I give kudos to Councilmember Stacy Smith and first Samantha assisting at the meeting, and of course the mayor. And but no, thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. Hopefully next year will be bigger and better.
Same with the microphone.
All right, moving on to sanitation and sewer. Bill?
I can provide a little more for the.
Oh, yeah, sorry, my apologies.
Yeah, Matt's.
So we were notified by Newberry Township that they're going to be putting roughly about $1.3 million in capital investments. Portion of that is going to be the borough's responsibility. So we will be having to look at our finances to see if any future rate increases are needed. But we haven't really gotten an answer yet as far as what our portion would be. We haven't actually calculated the value yet. Also, we need, I don't know if Peter or Bill, have you guys gone to numbers first yet?
I can't hear you, this thing's running.
Have you guys gone to numbers first yet to sign?
Yes, no, I signed the paperwork up there with, Ken, up in the office.
And I signed here too, but I guess they need my signature again?
Yeah, whatever was done on the first meeting needs to be done. So, if you guys haven't done it since last month's meeting, right? Okay, so yeah, we need.
Okay,
that's it.
Hey, real quick, I wanted to ask, the capital improvements, do we have a list or an itemized list of the scope of the work being done? Or
We have, basically what I think what I have here so far is a generator, and a UV sanitation system that we're putting in. That's all we've provided us so far. But we're reaching out to figure out what our portion
First portion of it is. usage based on Newberry and us? As, like, is it 80 to 20, or like 20% of the usage?
I mean, we pay for certain, units, I forget the actual term, it's units of flow, what's that? Flow, yeah, units of flow.
EUs?
EUs, that's it. Okay. So it's based off of that is where our calculations are.
Okay. All right.
You good?
Yep.
Streets and highways.
Yes, there was signs that I was asked to install, I did install last month. There is a new park rule sign, official park. Also at the intersection of Fraser and Second Avenue is a community park sign was put up. And due to a complaint, borough manager had me put up a no parking here to corner sign installed at South River Street in Fraser towards Riverside Drive. They're all installed.
Electric utility and water company?
I want that too. I do want to have a utility meeting for the ELGP to get together and look at the, because we're looking to raise the rate again a little bit. We would like to look at the contracts, see what we're making, what we're being charged, what we're charging, see where we're at with the figures, see if it's necessary to raise the electric.
Are you raising, did you say, are you raising the electric or are you raising the water or both?
It'd be the electric.
Okay.
It's coming up in another section here.
Okay.
But we'd like to get some information on that before we do that. So I'd like to hold a ELHP meeting, I guess it's already a spot somewhere for it. We needed you to utilize one of them dates and get a meeting together.
Good.
Zoning. Zoning. Motion to approve the committee reports.
Motion.
All those in favor? Moving on to unfinished business, resolution 2026-10, management borough building and key policy. Those adjustments, they were interesting, I thought. Are there any changes?
Here, yeah, there's two things I'd like to change on that.
Yeah, these look purely policy oriented to me, so if that's something you guys want.
Go ahead.
The summary of the changes is, section 2E1, with respect to permanent administrative access, adds a sentence towards the end to clarify for elected officials, regular access shall mean unrestricted access to administrative meeting and office spaces anytime, 24/7, 365 to fulfill their official duties.
What?
And then 2C5, number 5, another clarifying sentence. It currently reads, under administration of this policy, the borough manager is designated the person authorized to administer this policy on behalf of borough council in performance of these duties. The borough manager shall, and sub 5 is implement administrative procedures necessary to carry out this policy. The revision would be implement administrative procedures necessary to carry out this policy, subject to the prior approval of borough council. I think the second change is redundant, considering that you all set the resolution that establishes the policy, but if that's wording that you prefer, I have no objection to its inclusion. Again, these are policy items. I just suggested a draft for you to consider.
That's the wording I prefer.
I'm not opposed to if you want, if you could, please go ahead and incorporate that, or the adjustments and the changes. And in the meantime, motion on the floor to approve 2026-10 Management's Borough Building and Key Policy with the noted changes.
Motion. Second.
All those in favor? Continuation and funding of upstairs offices and employee restrooms, that is going to be tabled until we get the best clarification, available funding, and the status of the FRF funds. That topic is going to be tabled. Designing contractor bids for park restrooms and borough building construction. That is still pending until we can get bids for the park restroom and design.
Yeah, she had already gave us a design like 2 months ago or 3 months ago of the bathroom for the park, so she just gave it to the contractor.
Where are they gonna put the restrooms down at the park?
When you go into the parking lot, that's little cement area, I think the plans were to the left. To the left of it.
Behind the house.
Behind the house.
Or well, beside his fence. but-
Well, also keep in mind, we want to be able to tap into the sewer, the most economical means necessary to tap into the current sewer line,
The water and sewer right
the
there.
water and sewer.
Yeah.
So if the boroughs in other different areas, are restrooms down there necessary right now?
This was a donation from Rhett Baker.
There was money that was
in there.
Yeah.
Specifically for that purpose.
And I'm sure with adjustment in funding and as needed, we would be able to do something simplified. I mean, it's probably going to be a single bathroom,
Yeah.
Communal, shared, but, I think it's something that has been needing to be done and was brought up over the years. It just, we need to follow through.
I know it gets redundant, but at least the kids in the borough have a park.
Yeah, now with that being said,
Kids up in Shelley's don't.
with that being said, the understanding is the pavilion down there is rented, and that would provide a proper facility for folks that would rent the pavilion down there in the park.
Including water, which they don't have now.
All right, changing boroughs EMS, I had mentioned that already. Further information to follow, and more than likely come next month, we'll have a better, really good picture of that. Is that unfinished yet? Motion to accept unfinished business?
Motion.
So,
All those in favor? On the new business, Gordon Brown Engineering, I had mentioned this, again, is researching the stormwater grant opportunities for the aging storm system, both here in the borough and up in Shelley's, and surveying of at-risk areas in the borough and Shelley's Riverview, specifically First Avenue, and I think, on Shelley's Drive. I think there was talk about that, but they're just gonna bring a survey team in and start looking at some things. Discussion to accept the completed 2025 audit pending the agreed edits and revisions.
do we need to make a motion on that, the first one?
So he's gonna get quotes.
Yeah, we're waiting
Or is
for
that a
quotes.
motion?
Yeah, the quotes on the grant submissions.
Alright.
Discussion to accept the completed 2025 audit pending the agreed edits and revisions. As of right now, I'm not gonna be quick to jump on that or even put that to a motion to approve until we actually see the final. Now, I did get a note, and I think did I send that to everybody? There was a note sent by the Clackett and Associates, and please bear with me, I apologize.
It was just a memo.
Yeah, it was just a memo. Wasn't looking for anything specific other than, I think, move forward with the agreed changes. Sorry. more time, just let me know if you want me to take out the, already once you get a chance to talk to everyone. Okay, so there was some information that was shared that adjusted the memo, or adjusted the audit report, and we were supposed to be getting that back.
Still pending.
It's still pending. Yeah, okay. So what was sent was an update to the Borough Council based on the meeting that we had regarding the 2025 audit. There were changes that were to be made, but until we actually physically get those changes in a draft form, we're going to table the matter of approving the audit until we actually physically see the corrections made. I would feel more comfortable with seeing it. Seeing it in a note is different than seeing it on the actual audit. You know, I could write a note to anything and say, well, that's not final work. So, at this time, we're going to table any further discussion until we get the final report. Discussion and motion, LH&P increase that was due to increase in June of 2026 and June of 2027 needs to be implemented to cover increase in transmission, capacity, and distribution increases.
This is where we want to utilize, I believe Matt was looking at a date for the LH&P.
Yeah, it looks like we got, Wednesday before the council meeting, 6:30.
What was the date?
Next council meeting is
The 14th.
It won't fall under our finance committee, right?
It's the same utility one we use to do the audit.
So it'll be September 9th.
September 9th.
Well, the 7th is Labor Day. The 14th will be the borough meeting, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I want to try to get the electric contract, all the paperwork together, so we can look at the numbers and see what we're actually being charged, what we're making off of it, what we're charging.
Open to the public?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I encourage everybody to show that have the time. Because it's eye-opening. Just sitting in on the audit report was eye-opening.
To be clear, these are costs that the borough will need to regardless, and it's whether or not to increase kilowatt hours to pass those along so that you're not just eating the annual increase.
Right. Correct. Well, and, yeah, so basically, we want to look at possibly or potentially increasing the rate that we're selling it because we're eating the cost now with how we're buying it, or the charges that we're incurring.
And it's just gonna go up based
Yeah.
on that presentation that they gave
Yeah.
and that will explain to us in September 2024.
I mean,
Why we chose to go 2 cents for the next, we put it off and
Yeah.
we were just gonna increase
It
it.
was 6 cents originally.
Yeah.
It is 6 cents, and we can't control that. It is a 6 cent increase. We cannot control that. We just, as a
We were looking to
borough,
break it over
That's correct.
at 6 cents
2 cents over the next
over a
3
period
years.
of time,
That's
but-
correct.
so it wouldn't just hurt
But
the long.
But I agree, it should be looked at to see is 2 cents still enough or not enough.
But we want to look back too, because we were told that we were saving money when we did all the tree cutting off of the wires and stuff like that, so what did we save?
Right.
You know, is that extra money
Right,
there?
I think it's smart to sit and
That's
look at
what
it
we
before
need
we
to
do
look
it.
at.
I think it's smart to look and see, is the 2 cents still make sense?
Yeah.
Or do we not need it because there's extra sitting in there? That's correct.
Yeah, I mean, the electric does make the profit, so
Yeah.
that's what we're saving based on the tree cutting is profit.
Yeah.
And we use that profit then to
I'll be honest,
break up the 6 cents.
I'm glad I don't live out of the borough, because I've seen some of the bills that have been paid out of the borough, and it's astronomical.
So we'll table that for after that meeting.
All right, we're gonna table that for September 9th. What time? 6 p.m.? 6:30? Okay. All right, this is a big one. We're looking to, discussion and motion, and potentially, further down the road, through resolution. Designate October 31st, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. as trick or treat night in the Goldsboro Borough.
Approved. It's been that way for how many years for Goldsboro?
No matter what.
Who cares about Newberry?
Well, what I'd like to know from this solicitor is, ordinance or resolution, I'm looking for permanency to set it at the 31st.
Well, there's no way to permanently bind future borough councils. If you do a resolution, it can be changed by resolution. If you do an ordinance, it can be changed by ordinance. So it's.
But they gotta spend money to change the ordinance.
Yes.
Do we have to spend money to set an ordinance?
Yeah.
So you have advertising costs associated, and also there's, I mean, year-to-year things do change a little bit from coordination with police responsibilities. It's not really out ahead of it every year, but, I mean.
Well, we're doing it here in August, so hopefully, I think they set theirs in September.
Yeah, we did it in September last year.
Yeah, we're doing it now. Heck with that.
All
All right. Yeah, we'll do it by resolution. Motion on the floor by resolution.
Do you have a resolution prepared?
Absolutely not. That's why you're.
Sorry, I'll prepare one.
If you could prepare a resolution to set and designate October 31st, hours of 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. as the trick or treat night to be held in the Goldsboro borough. A motion on the floor.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
To be clear, that's prepared.
We got a lot of extra members on the council.
I don't have one here.
No, to go ahead and prepare, seeing as it's gonna be.
I can prepare one. That's not a problem either.
Can I just throw something up?
Yes, sir.
It doesn't matter to me, but I know we have like 17 and 18-year-olds trick or treat.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I can march.
Should it be in the resolution that this is for ages 6 to 13 or whatever? I don't know.
I would not do that.
Yeah. Instead, for me, it's bars of soda.
I have adult trick or treating in my house.
Oh, okay.
Let's
Some of the
not,
folks
yeah,
up
let's
in
not.
Maybe some candy.
I can see where you're talking about the coffee store. I'd rather have them teach trick or treating than I be in this.
Discussion, motion to advertise for bids for snow removal for the winter of 2026.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay, this is gonna be a discussion. So I received a bill from, the borough manager, from Gettle. So this is that transparency I keep telling you all about. So originally, 25 Whistler, Ms. Steph Carlton wanted, power ran to her, outdoor structure. Originally, what came into question was the conduit size. Then, a month or 2 months later, was a safety issue regarding the testing of the line. So the borough directed, the borough manager to have Gettle come in and test it to satisfy, Dove's Electric to actually connect to the transmission pole. So with that being said, a bill was received from Gettle and advised that the homeowner paid for it. However, the homeowner is not going to pay for it. Because now I question Fraser Street and the install of the 200-watt transformer that was put up there for their charging station, and no lines were tested there.
I can just provide a little bit of background. I instructed Joyce to direct the invoice to your attention whenever she called me, whether or not she should just process it internally as the borough already approving the action to be inspected. And I said because it was the cost that the borough was receiving, that she should at least direct the borough council's attention. I think she was ready either way to eat the cost, but she knew that it was not her call to make.
Yeah,
So that's what.
So the borough's going to pay for that bill.
How much is that bill?
Yeah. You ready for this one? $762.50.
To be clear, in the rules and regulations, there is no consideration of this particular cost to be eaten by the homeowner because it does not envision the process that we went down to get here.
Oh, no, I agree, the council made a motion to do that, and the council eats that cost.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's why I don't have a
Where are you
problem
gonna
doing
take it
it.
from? It's not in your budget, where's it?
Well,
So the homeowner had it inspected.
Well, let me-
I don't mind, I'm not the council is responsible for it. I don't disagree with that. I wanna know where it's gonna come from.
And that can be discussed, and quite honestly, paid out of ELH&P. Now, I'm gonna counter with that.
No, I just wanna know,
Yeah.
there's no, but like,
I
I don't know in our budget that we have a spot for extras or, like,
Like a petty cash.
yeah.
That's why it's so important, and you're aware of this, so important to be very cautious, because now I can come back and challenge and say, show me in writing where it's a requirement to have the line tested. Show me in writing where it states it has to be a specific conduit. If that can't be shown, why are we even doing it?
And why is there issue after issue? Once it was approved and she had it approved, why did it have to go the next step to cost the residents $700 and whatever dollars?
That's, I would
Well,
love that.
I think it was that the electrician was concerned if they connected it and wasn't right, it was gonna blow out everybody's electricity.
That's
And
correct.
transport.
That's
And that
correct.
was the concern that our town electrician had, which we have the time
And
to,
then-
I'm not saying, I'm not agreeing or saying, I'm just saying why this happened.
And that I
Because none of us are electricians that can say that.
And that I understand, but again, I bring up Fraser Street and the upgrade to the,
What happened to
transformer.
Fraser Street?
They upgraded the transformer.
When did they do that?
$10,000.
That was this year.
Just this year?
Yeah,
The concern-
that was for the electric vehicle.
The concern with that is that was aerial, so that was, you can see that, where this was underground, you don't know if,
That was for the benefit of a specific
if the
customer.
conduit
Yeah.
touched ground anywhere.
And then I understand, and it's like mentioned, specific customer, okay, I want a 400 kilowatt transformer out in front of my house. Tina wants one.
It's all direct barrier wire. So
Not
you
even
couldn't
Fraser
pay
for
for
free.
it.
If it's direct buried wire, then it probably
They
didn't.
only pay for certain supplies, they don't pay for the.
Well, what I'm saying is she didn't,
That's
she, well,
ridiculous.
that option.
Yeah, but if I get an electric vehicle at my house and I need power to my house for that, I'm paying you for that power, it's in your best interest to eat that cost to upgrade my system so that you get that money from me, right?
No.
No, okay.
You should pay for upgrades that are required by your request. Just trying to run that one by the head. You pay for an upgrade. See what happens.
Bottom line is the inspection was done on the conduit and on the line, passed the inspection.
Yeah.
However,
I agree with you.
that didn't satisfy the borough electrician,
I get that.
who then wanted it tested.
Yeah, I get it.
So,
And I agree with that. I
in
agree
doing
with
so,
that
then we
100%.
unfortunately incurred that cost. So,
I just didn't know about the Fraser thing.
but, all right. With that being said, motion on the floor to pay that specific bill of $762. 50 cents. Motion on the floor. All those in favor? All right. Treasurer's report, council has a copy of the treasurer's report, motion to accept. Oh. Now, I'm gonna correct myself. Treasurer's report, there's some items on here that need specification. First one's Charlie's Plumbing and Electrical at the cost of $900. That be removed and discussed at a later time on payment of bill unless we know what was done, what work was done.
Yeah. The only thing I know that he did recently was when we had the water main break, he was up there for that.
And that was considered an emergency.
What's that?
That was considered an emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was that big water main break.
That was last month.
The
That's
front
what we
door,
did.
the front door.
Okay, I could take that a step further. If he was up there for that, how come Frontier's not being billed? Why are we being billed?
I believe that was still getting sorted out. We were trying to make it clear to them that they would be responsible, but I don't know where that.
I will move to,
Pass through cost.
yeah, well.
Yeah, that should be a Frontier cost. if
Yeah,
they were the ones that-
I'm gonna move to strike, the bill for $900 at this time and potentially be voted on or placed on the agenda for next month to be voted on and approved to be paid until we get to the bottom or we get a resolve from,
Frontier.
correct.
It's not really Frontier, wasn't that a secondary company?
It is.
Yeah, but it's Frontier contract.
Frontier's guy. Yeah.
And then the only other question I have is Hellweg operations, extra work at $385. I'm looking for a specification on what constituted the extra work.
What is extra work? It's
That-
one every month.
Well, yeah, that I don't know. I know he did something with the pumps, that was a month, that was 2 months ago.
He would invoice that, right?
That was already paid separate.
Okay. Yeah, how old?
He has his fee on there, and then he always has extra work every month.
Every month there's an extra
Every
work.
month.
Every
So we
month
don't know
there's
what the
extra
extra work is.
So I'm gonna move to have that stricken from the treasurer's report as well.
What's that?
I'm gonna have the extra work annotated.
Till we clarify what the extra work is. And my other thing was, the Ecotech is on here twice for like $7,000. There's a $4,000.
Something doing the line investigations up there and, did I guess some of the excavation and the hot tap, or the tapping of the water when the water being broke. I know they were involved in that.
Is that on Frontier or not?
I think it would be, but I think
So there
it's
it
something the
is.
borough will pay
$7,000.
first, and
And
then,
then they would reimburse
right,
us.
it would be like a pass through.
The other thing too, I had a question on, I'm not gonna pull it, but question on Dub's Electrical.
Yeah, I was gonna.
I see 2 buildings here, one for 260 and one for 430.
30. One's under, Dub's Electrical and Construction. The other one is, Dub's Electrical, yeah, what are?
I'm just a little concerned because I'm seeing bills like here and here. Why not at the end of the month consolidate, bill, and pay?
Then what are we paying him?
Or itemize it?
What
But
are we paying this money to?
So show,
It's
show,
coming.
And it all depends on what he did in the borough, like if
Right,
he's-
well, that's what I'm asking, what do you do?
it's showing one out of general fund and it's showing one out of electric utility fund.
correct. I see it, and they're out of 2 different accounts.
Right, so the one out of the utility fund would be something for the electric company, and the one out of the general fund would probably be something for the building,
Yeah.
something for the borough itself.
But if it's electric, and if it's done in the building, it
But
should
it's
still fall under
It's kind of
utility.
building maintenance versus electric company.
Being out in the field, yeah.
And I
Electric
also,
companies, it's in a separate end.
Yeah. I'm just very cautious and I'm paying more and more attention to this now.
Like, I'm assuming the invoices are upstairs, it's actually, look at. But-
what I'm curious about is the flags that were put up. Mr. Dobbs, they get tangled up in the lines, they're not the power lines, but they're the utility lines, and he's gotta go down there and straighten them up. Are we paying him
Yeah.
to do that? Then why doesn't he, instead of paying him for that, why doesn't he lower those flags down so when the wind blows,
What flags are you? What
the
flags?
flags hanging on the poles?
I believe he's using the same connections that the snowflakes go on.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, but still, they
No,
still
it's a
get
separate
hung up.
bracket. He's screwed it
Oh,
right
is it?
under.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
need to
yeah.
move them down so they don't reach the wire.
So we're not continuously paying him to go up there and untangle them flags. Why doesn't he just lower the flag down so they don't get tangled up? There's no height restriction there for those flags. They don't need to be above 13.6 or anything like that, 'cause they're off the street. So why continue to
Mine
pay
is
him
over
every
top,
time?
mine is over top of.
Pardon me?
Mine is over top of the parking, it's on-street parking. So.
Okay, but-
There are there should be height restrictions so that the FedEx guy doesn't.
So it's
I'm not
hanging
saying-
out
I
over
don't
the
know.
street?
It's hanging over where we park.
Could be
Is it hanging out over the street where the big trucks come through,
No,
that
it's-
they
no,
need to be
it's-
13.6?
I'm
What?
talking about it's where we park at, and
You
the,
have a 13.6 vehicle?
no, but the FedEx guy does,
That-
Peter just had a
Okay.
delivery from a tractor trailer.
Those FedEx trucks,
I mean,
those brown FedEx vehicles are not over 13.6.
Real quick, here's a quick result of that. Here's what I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask Dubs if there's a set height requirement or right of way of any flag posted on any electrical pole. Here's what I'm asking Councilmember Clark.
Yes, sir.
Work with Mr. Dubs.
I will.
And research to find out if there's set requirements on height based on flags to be posted or placed on poles. Please. All right. Real quick, okay, so stricken from the treasurer's report until further clarification and additional information will be the following. Charlie's Plumbing and Electrical of $900 based on further information. Hellwig Operations Incorporated extra work of $385 until further clarification. Motion to strike those from the treasurer's report.
Motion.
All those in favor? All right. Motion to accept the treasurer's report at this time. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Okay.
Ron, why are you saying nay? What is your reason for not accepting the treasurer's report?
Because there's a couple other things on here.
So why don't you just include them to be stricken from the treasurer's report? We want you to be happy with it too, I don't want you to keep saying no every time.
All right.
Yeah. You know?
All right.
I'm sorry, what was that, Bill? Bill, what was that? What
I
was
said,
your
I'm glad to
comment?
see we have the 8th member of council.
So technically, you answer to me as
All
a
right.
resident.
All right, do me a
So I'm
favor,
not a council member, I
Clark,
just
please
want
have a
to
seat.
understand what his.
Okay.
I apologize.
All right, I can raise my voice a lot louder. We all need to maintain professionalism. First and foremost, I am the Borough Council President. You will adhere to the rules and regulations of a Borough Council meeting. You will conduct yourself in a professional manner, both public and council members. Moving forward, Councilmember Ron, what else would you like to address from the treasurer?
There's just still things on the treasurer report, we're still paying for things for people that we do not have contracts for. Anything that's gonna be on the treasurer report that has a bill that's getting generated, needs to be paid, I wanna see a contract. Like Melissa's cleaning, I mean, there's a couple things on here that we don't have contracts for. That's the only thing I'm looking for.
All right,
We have to cover our asses on that.
okay, what other contracts other than Melissa's cleaning? I'm looking over this now, do we have a contract with Dolan Oil?
No, we actually don't. We do for service for propane, but we don't for work in the building. So if they're gonna come back and finish doing any work in the bathrooms, we have to make sure we have that in place.
There's a contract for Devin to do that work upstairs. She brought it to the meeting. She brought contracts for Dolan and for
It was
Doug's
a work
Electrical to
order.
do that work upstairs.
That was-
Yeah, no, there's two differences, work order, contract. Contract spells out services provided by the company that's going to service the borough. Work order falls under the contract and the scope of the contract and the work done under that contract and what they can and can't do.
Okay. So they gave a work order under their contract to provide us heat or whatever, or electrical service?
They gave us a work order, but no contract. Contract would be a binding agreement approved by council stating that the work or scope
Oh, so
of
the
their
work order
contract.
did not come under a contract, is what you're
Right,
saying?
Correct.
It was a work order. We do have a service agreement with them for the propane,
Right.
for the building and I believe for.
Associate an NFL player with a contract, they're gonna get paid for it. That contract spells out what they can and can't do, what they have to do, all that kind of stuff, and then they're paid for the services.
And so we have to have a contract from like the people that come and clean, we have to have a contract with them?
I would be recommended to go and have one.
So you're recommending it, but do we have to have?
Well, we agreed on it too.
Well, if she comes
So
in
not
and splashes
recommended.
water in that electrical receptacle with the mop and starts and burns the building down.
We have no
We
contract.
have nothing.
What states that,
Somebody slips and.
No, I agree. There's a difference between saying we want one and we haven't had the conversation of who we want contracts from versus saying today, we're not gonna pay a bill, we're not gonna agree to a treasury report because there is no contract.
I didn't say I wasn't paying a bill, I didn't agree to the
No, you're
credit
right. I'm
card,
sorry.
I don't have to agree to it.
You're right, I'm sorry. So maybe we need to create new business for next month that talks about what contracts we need to have. I thought we already resolved this
This is what
earlier in
we're-
the year.
we did.
When you asked for all the contracts,
Okay.
and I thought everybody was,
So-
everybody accepted what contracts we had.
So this is where this goes. At the beginning of the year, this is the transparency again.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year, it's asked that all entities, all companies that associate or do business with the borough of Goldsboro
Right.
have contracts on file up in that office.
Yep.
The reason being is both to cover us and cover them.
That's correct.
Then moving forward, work orders are issued based off of that contract and the scope. It spells out what they can and can't do. Okay? It protects us, protects them. But in doing so, then, again, that was asked.
Yep.
So, we take it a step further. Additional individuals are being brought in without a contract.
Melissa's cleaning has been cleaning this office for the
I understand.
5 years, 6 years I've lived here.
And that has not been provided. So now my question
Okay, so we had
is anybody that doesn't have a contract, are we required to go and utilize their services? No. We can go with somebody else that is willing to provide us a contract.
Okay. So what happened when the council asked for all these contracts? Were they not provided?
Almost all of them were, with the exception of a very select few. Melissa's Cleaning obviously is one. Crawl, they just did work down here,
No contract.
no contract. But yet, we're supposed to pay the bills, but there's no contract.
No.
Hey, Crawl, can you write up us a contract? In actual reality, the work that was done down there, that was supposed to be put out for bid.
How much was it?
That I forget, dollar amount.
5,000.
Yeah, actually, no, I didn't
No,
remember.
I don't think that has.
Or no, it was 3 quotes, not bids.
5,000.
3 quotes. It was 3 quotes that were asked, and the total amount is $5,164.82.
I didn't think anything had to go out to bid unless it was.
Get it right, bid or quote?
Price quotation threshold for 2026 is about $13,000.
So it's under 13,000, so it,
Well, the instruction from council was to get quotes.
Quotes.
Specifically, they didn't
Oh,
say
okay.
that during the meeting.
Because how do we know the next person down the street that is willing to provide the contract or an agreement is under 5,000?
okay, so let's just go back to so we can finish wrapping it up. So what I'm hearing is that maybe council needs to have some old business brought back up to finish the discussion about the contracts.
Correct.
And figure out which contracts y'all need to have in place.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all we're trying to do.
Because that was asked, Crumlin also was brought up tonight too. Never got a contract, but if we had a contract, and then you go to Crawl, which one do you go with? Whoever's the lowest price, and is willing to do the work and has the capability of doing the work. That's the whole idea. Regardless of the bid process, you could still go with the lowest bid. Like, I'm not gonna pay $20 for a babysitter when I can get the babysitter for $10.
No doubt.
You just say, all right.
Thank you very much for helping me.
That being said, show of hands, or motion first to approve the treasurer's report.
You already did all that.
It was given guidance and,
No, so I was just wanting to clarify for the record, there was a motion and a second to approve the treasurer's report with the 2 items removed. There was 1 nay vote, I couldn't tell audibly how many yeas, so I asked if a roll call vote would be appropriate for the same motion.
motion on the floor to accept the treasurer's report.
So the motion's already been made, so
Yeah.
you just call.
Do I have a motion?
No, you already have a motion.
All those in favor, please raise. All those against, please raise.
Is it 3-2?
2 minutes.
What was Doug's?
Doug's vote was nay, not to accept it.
Okay, so then it does not get passed, 2-3. I thought it was 3-2, I couldn't tell, that's why I recommended a roll call vote. So unless somebody changed their vote.
Nope, that's why I didn't, the first time, because now we're down to 5, and we got 2 and 2, so worst case scenario, this one here.
So we're not paying any bills this month.
No.
Pay the bills is next.
Pay the bills is next.
Yeah, but paying the bills is listed on the treasurer's report. So how can you not approve the treasurer's report, which shows the bills being paid?
Because I'm gonna strike those said items off of the same thing too. Charlie's Repair,
But you have 3 nays because of contracts on here, things are being paid. So Hellwig Operations Extra Work is being paid. Dove's Electrical Construction, we already decided Ecotech was a pass-through. So there was other things that Ron was saying nay to. I only heard Ron say nay, I didn't hear anybody else say nay, but until you did roll call, so that's fine. I'm gonna stay out now. I already made my complaint once last month, I'm not gonna do this every month.
For the pass, we didn't pass.
Did not pass.
Did not pass,
No.
there's 3 no's and 3 yeses. Or 2 yeses, 2 yeses, 3 no's.
So my question is, since the treasurer's report is not, accepted, can this bill still be paid?
the bills designated, the bills can still be
Two separate
paid.
things.
They're 2 separate things, and here's the thing, bills presented basically as the treasurer's report. So if the items that were stricken from the treasurer's report are stricken for payment on bills, same thing.
Okay,
Am I missing something?
yes.
What?
So
Help me
you
understand.
took off 2 things.
Uh-huh.
Charlie's Plumbing for $900.
Correct.
And,
Melissa's cleaning.
and Hellwig's, I think Hellwig's Extra Work for $385. Those were the 2 things that were stricken. So they got stricken, but you still had 3 people vote no. So I asked, what was it that's still on here that makes it not passable? And
The
answer-
treasurer's report or the bills?
the treasurer's report. And what I was told was Melissa's cleaning is being paid without a contract. Hellwig, Dove's Electrical Construction is on here twice. And we don't know what those are, and those were reasons why the 3 people were not voting to pass the treasurer's report. But those are bills that you're getting ready to present to be paid. Because those were not stricken from the treasurer's report. When you present the bills, you're gonna be presenting Melissa's cleaning to be paid,
Well,
whatever other contract.
let me
is
ask you this. Was Melissa's cleaning stricken from the treasurer's report?
It was not.
Okay, so that's a bill at this point in time that's willing to be voted on to go and be paid.
So then why didn't Ron say yay? Why didn't he vote for the treasurer's report not to be passed? He said it was because Melissa's cleaning didn't have a contract. But he's gonna present the bill to be paid.
I said there were still some items I wanted to rule.
Right, and I'm not picking on you, Ron, you're the only person I heard say nay, now I realize there was 2 other people that said no.
Like I said, we don't all agree,
Right.
so now we move to the bills.
So he said no to the treasurer's report to pay because he didn't want certain people to be paid, but he's gonna present the bill and let them be paid. So why not just agree to the treasurer's report?
It's not that they're going to be paid or not be paid. It's that we need to get contracts in place. This is, the treasury report is just the paper put together by the manager.
Well, I could take it a
These
step
are the
further.
bills that will be paid, it's a separate page. That's why it's 2 separate things on the agenda. It says treasury report, but it's the bill. It's just the way it's typed up.
I don't have the page, it says what bills are being paid. That's not part of
Yeah,
the treasurer's
you
report.
don't get that part of it.
Right, that's not part of what's in here.
All right, moving forward. Motion to pay the bills as presented, with the understanding of stricken from the treasurer's report.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sam?
Oh, I know.
All right, sorry. All right, bills paid, with the exception of the 2 in question. And to double down on that, I will follow up with the borough manager to ensure that we get current and active contracts in place for the individuals identified. Citizens' remarks. Closing remarks.
I have a question, please.
Yes, ma'am.
On the bills under number 6582, you for meter reading. I know that, Jeff had stopped doing the meters up in Shelley's. I thought previously they both got paid $200 a month.
250, it's like 210 or something.
Okay, we do 210 and 210 would be 420. How
Yeah.
does that come out to?
Because he's doing the water.
He's getting water also.
He's getting water and electric for up in Shelley's.
He only does electric down here, but water and electric up there. So he gets a little more for up there than he does here.
Yeah, but that was, doing the water meeting, wasn't that in with his pay from the last time?
He only did down here.
He only did down here originally, Jeff
Josh
did.
only did down here.
Yeah.
And, yeah, Jeff's used to go towards his electric bill.
And the second gentleman left because he didn't want to sign the contract, right?
Yes.
So is your question why he's only being paid for both water and electric coming out of the electric fund? Was that what you were bringing up?
She went to was $520 and not $420.
Yeah, the answer was because he does water also, but it's all coming out of electric. That's a mingling of restricted funds.
We hear what he said.
That is kind of a good point.
And just
So
so
it's all
council is
coming out of
aware,
electric.
whenever-
Why was the water company ever paying the electric company back for those payments?
The core problem that I've been finding is the accounting system
Yeah.
is not
I get
in
it.
the state it should be.
I got it.
So you're getting crossing the funds, paying for one utility out of a different utility.
Well,
and-
I suggest that's something that's brought up at September's meeting and is discussed. Because this month's payment's already been made. There's not much we can do.
And just to remind you, you guys did vote to pay 2 bills out of budgets that don't exist.
Which one?
The state voter fund piglet and the Parks and Rec bill.
And that was for crawl, right?
Crawl from the piglet, there's no budget for that, and there's no Parks and Rec for Paulie's, Stacy's reimbursement, and there's more.
She did it out of
Porta potties.
because she didn't want to
Look at
put
this.
$10 paperwork.
Look at our savings account.
What did you say, Dan? He,
For which?
about the state voter funds thing?
Yeah, there's no budget for polling funds out of piglet, so my guess is you,
That's the savings account for it.
yeah,
It's not a budgetable item, it's a state, it's a
you
savings.
spend money on it,
It's a savings account.
like you spend money on it.
Yeah, but it's not something that you carry up the
I may
budget.
have to ask the solicitor whether you can, when council can spend money if there's no budget or not, that would be his thing.
The state voter fund, that would be the state voter fund budget. I mean, that would be the streets and highways budget. That's a savings account, it's the same as like the member's first account and stuff like that.
It's an investment fund account.
Right, it's not.
It's not just a regular bank account. And there's no budget tied to those funds. And there's no budget at all tied to the Parks and Rec fund, bank account fund either.
Yeah, I know that, there's a,
You can't spend money on a fund if there's no budget.
there is a Parks and Rec budget.
In the general fund, yes, but that's not where these payments are coming out of.
They're coming out of the regular Rex and
Because earlier in the year, you decided to make any Recs and Parks out of.
go into that account, but that was after the budget was already established.
Right.
So,
But the Pliget is part of it would be the part of the streets and highways, because that's where you use it for, because that's the state voter fund.
And the state motor fund is a separate bank account or managed, however the state intervenes in that, and Piglet is our investments.
yeah, here's what I'm gonna suggest, that if you guys wanna engage on this, I think that would be a wise choice, or discuss further. And then also discuss at September's meeting too, because I'll be at that meeting as well. And I highly suggest we look into that a little further. I don't disagree. I understand completely the expenditures. You can't spend money out of an account if it's not budgeted.
So we could probably have like $50,000 or $60,000 in streets and highways that she could have paid that out of, but she didn't. For storm run, or water runoff.
Yeah,
I'm confused.
we moved money into Pliget and out of Pliget. We used it as an investment fund. Yeah. Like for the sewer, we moved thousands of dollars into Pliget because it has a higher.
Yeah.
And then it was pulled out of it.
All right, anything on, further on citizens' remarks? No? Council person's comments. Samantha. Ron.
The only thing I was gonna bring up, like I said, was about the kids on the scooters. If you know the kids that are riding scooters down the middle of the street, down the middle of the main roads, jumping off, crossing streets, not paying attention, not stopping, not moving the cars, just talk to them, talk to the parents before something does happen to one of them, because even with the fire department, we don't wanna have to come and clean that up. We don't wanna see that happen to any of these kids. Like I said, we just had another one in Manchester this morning, a 12-year-old, on 4th Street and Emmy Road. One of them little e-scooters was hit by a truck. And some of these kids around here are pretty reckless on these things. But we just need the parents to be aware and try to make the children understand. That's all I got.
Peter?
No. Nothing.
I have nothing. No announcements, motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?